Good evening, friends, followers and channel members, and what a lovely flight we've got for you this evening. Starting with terrible weather here in Bordeaux. As you can see, actually, from what I'm seeing in front of me on the screen, this is actually a lot better than it was about half an hour ago. Half an hour ago, I struggled to see the aircraft parked next to me, let alone anything else. The simulator did a fantastic job of replicating the live weather and the METAR that I was reading in front of me. As you can see as well, we've got thunderstorms as well surrounding the airfield. Very wet. We've had severe heavy rain while I've been setting up, and I think I'm just starting to lose the visibility again. Quick look around, we can hear that, yeah, you can see that rolling in. So really nice to see that default weather on Microsoft Flight Simulator is living up to the live weather in Bordeaux. If anyone in the chat happens to be in Bordeaux, then that'd be quite nice. So, good evening, Nick. Good evening, Chumi, Leonard, Dark, Oki, Buster as well. I see we've already had one crash to desktop as well. Oh dear. Good luck, Dark. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you tomorrow. We obviously have the big stream tomorrow. Now, I believe air traffic control is currently online. So that's good to see. Don't know how long they're going to stick around for to get us out of here. We shall find out in a bit, I guess. Now, I just want to make sure that the connection is all working. I believe it is. I again had just a bit of a problem starting the stream tonight, but I think all is now well and running. So that's good. Let's get into the flight deck because it's rather wet out here. There we go, and I've put the aircraft into sort of a turnaround mode, so we're not starting from cold and dark. As you can see, everything is up and running. We've got ground power connected, fuel pumps are off, as we're going to get some fuel loaded in. So what I've not done yet is got the username in here, so just bear with me while I pop that in. There we go. And then I can get this information from SimBrief, load that in. Yeah, there you can see there's the weather on the weather radar. So here we are, Bordeaux to Stansted tonight, QNH 1001, and just have a look at that METAR with me. So as you can see, we've got light rain, cumulonimbus, temporarily 4,000 visibility, thunderstorms, rain, broken, and the winds have calmed down. It was gusting 50 knots a while back, which I would imagine would mean that most flights would be not cancelled, but certainly delayed whilst waiting for that to pass. So yeah, and the pressure's also dropping at Stansted as well. So we're going to get out of here and we're going to start by loading some fuel. Let's see what fuel we need. Now, given the poor weather, of course, we're going to take extra fuel. So we've got about 5 tons the planned block fuel, but given the turbulence we expect, potential delays on the ground, then we're also going to take an extra 3 tons of fuel. We're also going to be climbing with potentially turbulence penetration speed, which means that we're going to be flying slower, meaning that we're obviously going to burn more fuel. We're also going to need anti-ice on for quite a bit to get through these thunderstorms, so that degrades performance a little bit. So let's go to the fuel page, and instead of 5 tons, we're going to have 8 tons on board. So there we go. 7971. That's close enough, and defueling is now underway. So there we are. Seatbelt signs are off, that's fine. Right, should we start letting our passengers on board? They've got a really wet walk to the terminal this evening, don't they? So let's just look at starting that, and then we'll put some information from SimBrief in. Alright, so doors are open and the passengers are starting to get on board, get out of the bad weather. We're going to try and get them safely away from here as soon as possible. Okay, so current QNH 1001. Let's get the flight directors back on and just check everything down here is as it should be. We're currently on Unicom and the guard frequency, that's fine. Flight deck doors are open. Instrument panel and everything is all set. And just clear any issues we've got on there. The Ecam recall push button. And everything else is as it is. As I am just doing the preliminary cockpit checks, but as a transit stop really. Alright, so now we need to come and of course set up the FMGS. So let's get that in from SimBrief. So here we go, Bordeaux Stansted, 1 hour 11 minutes flight time. And let's check the weights, ignore the fuel. Right, so check that payload. Payload is 1664. 1664 is correct. Zero fuel weight 57.6, that's correct as well. Zero fuel weight, center of gravity. We can just play around with that. 29.1, why not? 29.1, just for something different. It would be nice if that changed randomly, wouldn't it, every flight? So there we go. Let's get that loaded in. Okay, that's passenger weights on as well. So defueling is still underway. Current aircraft weight is 65, just over 65.5 tons. Takeoff weight is 62. Well, actually, no, it's going to be more than that because we're taking 3 tons of extra fuel, aren't we? So the takeoff weight on my operational flight plan can be disregarded. Alright, so let's come then. Init A. Pull that in. So we'll get the alternate. The alternate for today is Gatwick. Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. I'm looking forward to flying back in the UK. I've not been in the UK for a while. That's the flight number field, you numpty. I put that in the wrong field. Echo Golf Kilo Kilo. Flight number Easyjet Europe. So Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Cost index fate. Flight level is 380 minus 47 is the temperature. So just edit that. And the tropo is 32779. There we go. Toby, you're currently making a freeware scenery for Stansted. Ah, such a shame. It's not out tonight. We could have used that. Okay. That's Init A sorted. Let's have a look at the flight plan then. So, is ATC still online? Yes, it is 121.9. So we'll come down here and we'll give them a call.
London Stansted via Cognac 5 Papa departure, runway 23, then assigned initial climb flight level 70, squawk 1051, Easy 710.
Easy 710, readback is correct, report ready, patient start.
Bordeaux ground Alpine 34 Alpha Mike Type A320 Neo requesting clearance as filed to Stansted, and we have QNH 1001.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, bonsoir monsieur, startup to Stanton is approved, expect departure runway 23, Cognac 5 Papa, initial flight level 70, squawk 1004.
Cleared via runway 2 Cognac 5 Papa departure, initial climb flight level 70, squawk 1004, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike.
And Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, readback is correct, report ready, patient start.
Roger, 34 Alpha Mike. Okay, so that's actually the flight plan we were expected. We'll just turn that off for now. So that squawk is 1004, and our initial climb was flight level 70. So let's set the RadNav page up. Departure runway 23, Cognac 5 Papa departure. And then at the other end for Stansted, we're expecting the Tel21 Lima for runway 22, ILS approach. ILS 22 and all the way down at the bottom, Tel21 Lima. And that is going to be via, just check, so I would imagine that's going to be via Laurel, I'm guessing. Normally air traffic control would pick you off and give you vectors in, so is Laurel one of the options? Yes, there it is. And insert. So a distance of 514 miles, flight plan says 506, so they're close. Nothing majorly wrong with that, but I'll check the flight plan before we go, of course. In fact, we can do that just now. So get the constraints on. See how this is looking. We'll just pop that into nav mode as well. So there's the departure that we'd expect to see. That matches up. Flying north, nothing daft there, and yeah, that's actually the arrival. That looks like a mess, but that is actually the arrival. And just to confirm that, as you can see, Tel2, we come up, we then get to Barkway, make a left, come into Laurel, and then from Laurel, then we would be vectored by air traffic control, in which case, if they're not online, we'll vector ourselves in from Laurel to come in around and land on runway 22. So over here, land runway 22. So that's good. Let's put that back into arc mode. All right, so happy with the flight plan, things that we can pop into the RadNav page for our own situational awareness. Let's have a look. We've got the Bordeaux NDB. We can just pop that in there. Which is, in fact, we'll just type in 393. We can pop that in. There's also a Bordeaux VOR as well if we needed that. We can chuck that in there as well. I can't actually find that because I've got the wrong chart up. Bear with me 1 second. It's because we're doing an RNAV departure, so it doesn't actually show it. It's not essential that we have it in, it's just for my own awareness. Oh, there it is, BMC, that's what I was looking for. Bravo Mike Charlie. There we go. Tom, yeah, the distance does change occasionally, just as it's computing things. But that's alright. Right, so RadNav is sorted. Let's come to our init B page. So, zero fuel weight was 57.6. And zero fuel weight center of gravity, what did we pop that at? 29.1, didn't we? 29.1. Trip wind today is a tailwind of 51. Wow, so if we're late, we might make up a bit of time. Tailwind of 51. And we're taking about 8 tons of fuel. Fuel planning, of course, suggests 3.9. We've obviously got more than that to be on the safe side. There we go. So call that 7.9 tons of fuel. That's now all loaded in. So our takeoff weight then is 65.5. Important for the performance calculations on departure. 65.5, that's fine, and landing with that extra fuel on board, of course, around just under 5.5 tons, so that's okay. Our centre of gravity with all passengers and everything loaded is going to be 30.2, or rounded up 30.3. Let's close that down. Okay, so on to our performance. Let's have a look. So just checking the takeoff weight there, 65.4, so we've got 65.5. Now given the winds that we've got, we're going to go toga anyway, due to the winds and the bad weather. With the thunderstorms in the area, wind shear is a possibility, so toga all the way for that. Transition altitude here is 5,000 feet. So we want to obviously get that in. So noise abatement 1 departure here. So according to the charts read a little bit earlier, thrust reduction and acceleration is 1170 and 3170. No flex, flaps 1, and engine out, acceleration is 1170. There we go. Right, I'm going to check these V speeds then. So V2, I've actually got a live performance here, so 142 and 137. And 135. Although actually I've just checked the takeoff weight for that was slightly different. So what was the difference with the aircraft? That's suggesting 137, so as long as it's lower, I'm happy. 133, 132. Okay, so I'm happy with those because that's slightly lower. All passengers are now on board. Alright, so departure briefing then. Well, we've already given a little bit of a mention to the weather, and wow, look at that whilst we've been looking down there and chatting away. Yeah, nasty. So, we are parked at... We are parked on Bravo, just here, parking stands there, so we're going to push back, expecting to be facing north-east. Of course, they may tell us to face south and bring us around this way. We shall soon see, although that's an entry, so I would imagine we're going to be pushing back this way, taxiing up all the way via Papa 1 Lima 6, and then or it might just pop us onto Papa all the way through to holding point Alpha for runway 23. On departure then, runway 23. It's an RNAV departure, so autopilot can come on quite soon. Make this right-hand turn to these waypoints. Initial climb is flight level 70. Minimum safe altitude is 2,100 feet. With regards to anything going wrong on departure, obviously we want to get above minimum safe altitude. I'm just going to check our takeoff weight, but it is below the maximum landing weight. Now runway 23 that we're departing from, and it's the favourable runway here, is actually an ILS. In fact, what category ILS is it though? That's important. Oh, we can get Cat 3B, so if we needed to we could come back and do an auto land as long as the aircraft was fine. Do a Cat 2 auto land. Runway visual range is 300 meters for that. Any other reason then what's the current runway visibility range just here? Does it give it to us? It says visibility is 7,000 feet. Oh, sorry, 7,000 meters. So so that's fine, but we hard seeing those gusts again. Look at that. 23 at 030 and 50 knots. So that really has just changed. Mind you, that's temporary, isn't it? So we shall see. In the real world, of course, we would probably be delaying the flight. The simulator, we can, well, in the simulator we can do as we wish, but definitely worth flagging up that temporary. Nielsen, there's a thunderstorm above your house. Are you in Bordeaux as well? Nice to know it's realistic. So that weather is something we want to climb out and get out as quick as possible. We'll not be in any rush to get the seatbelt signs off, I don't think. So with all passengers on board, refueling has completed. Let's get those seatbelt signs on. Let's get the APU running. Fuel pumps on. And I think we can close the doors. So I can just see where these guys are taxiing as well. Let's switch back onto the ATC.
Please place your large bags into the overhead locker, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items of clothing. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure a prompt departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
That's great, thank you.
So APU is now available. APU bleed coming off. We'll disconnect ground power. Tell the ground to disconnect. And we can now run our before start checklist. So, cockpit preparation is now all completed. Signs are on and auto. Our ideas we know are aligned, 3 nav green. Fuel quantity, 8 tons, loaded, checked, balanced. Flight management guidance system is all set. And altimeter, we just double check that was 1001. Alright. Threats to be aware of course, is those winds on departure. We need to pay particular attention to those, and wind shear. Wind shear is a huge threat. So we want to get up and away as quickly as possible. Noise abatement 1 departure here according to the charts. So acceleration altitude is around 3,000, just under 3,200 feet, 3,170 feet. So we'll keep that nose up when we set climb thrust. Climb out of the way, and of course we want anti-ice on as well. Alright, let's get our pushback clearance. Bordeaux ground, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike is ready for push and start.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, push and start is approved, facing south. QNH is 1001.
Push start approved, facing south, QNH 1001, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. So, facing south, check the charts, see where we're going to be headed. So push back, and where's the parking stands charts? There we go. Push back and facing south.
Easy710, contact Bordeaux Center on 125.1. Have a good
Contact Bordeaux Center 125.1, Easyjet, good night.
Just popping that in the frequency of the standby. We're probably going to need that on departure. Okay, so the tug is on his way. Let's get the lights on. So rotating beacon light is on. Start the timer, check the pressure.
Ground, 1880.
Transponder. And before start, checklist below the line. Windows and doors are closed and armed. Rotating beacon light is on. Mobile phone is off. That's a lie, it's on, but never mind. And parking brake force is on. Release the parking brake. Start the push. So engine mode, select to ignition and starting engine 1. As a point as well, with this weather we're going to be leaving engine mode to ignition on this departure. And this really is some bad weather, isn't it? And it looks fantastic. It really does look good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your attention while we take you through the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2...
Speedbird 1880, contact Bordeaux Center on 125.1. Have a good flight.
That your nearest exit may be behind you.
Over to 125.1, 180, thanks for the ATC tonight.
Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat. Put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist. Click together and pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into the tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting
Easy 854, contact Bordeaux Center on 125.1. Have a good flight.
Must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with Easyjet.
Okay, so because of the heavy rain and potential ice in the thunderclouds, we'll leave engine mode to ignition if we need to do a restart. So only in severe weather do we need to do that. Just waiting for engine number 2 to stabilize. There we go. So engine number 2 is now stable. So leave engine mode to ignition. The APU bleed can come off. Anti-ice, of course, is coming on. APU master can come off. Set spoilers, rudder, flaps 1, and the trim 30.3. So 30. There we go. And all looks good there. So we're now clear to disconnect. So off goes the tug. Let's run the after start checklist. Anti-ice is on. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is 30.3. And rudder trim set 0. So I do apologise. I know I'm ignoring the chat quite a bit, but during the setup of everything. We want to make sure we get things right and not miss things. Right, so let's see how he's going to taxi us down here. I'd imagine right onto Sierra and then right onto Papa at a guess, but let's find out. Bordeaux ground, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike is ready for taxi.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, taxi holding point Alpha, runway 23 via Papa.
Holding point Alpha 24. Holding point Alpha for runway 23 via Papa for Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Couldn't get my teeth in there. Right, so quick flight control check. Full left. Oh, sometimes it does this. The low ECAM should automatically change, but it's not doing. So let's just check that. So full left, full right, neutral. Full up, full down, neutral. Rudder, full right, full left, and neutral. Turn off the SD page. There we go. Alright, let's get the taxi lights on. And pushback is clear. There it is, all the way over there. And we can get the weather radars and things on as well whilst we're down here. Parking brakes are off. Look at that weather radar. How nice. And let's start our taxi roll. Sometimes a little bit more difficult to taxi in rainy conditions. You need a touch more thrust. So we're just going to tell the cabin crew to get sat down, clear that ECAM warning. So we're basically just making a right-hand turn and then back onto this taxiway just here. So if we're away from here by 2000 hours, we should be on the ground before 9:30 Zulu Town, 21:30 Zulu, which is the perfect time for my B&B. I should have said as well, we're also not on live time today. I've set it to 12 hours behind, just so we've got a bit of a daylight stream. Not that it really matters with this weather. And there's an aircraft coming into land there as well, God bless them. Yeah. Hope he's on an auto land. Anthony, with the radar picture, you'd be returning to the gate for another round of coffee. Yeah, in the real world, definitely. And the problem with this radar is that we can't set a tilt either. So I'm not actually sure at what level it's showing. We can't radar tilt up and find a nice route out of here. Oh, look, the company briefs were accurate. They do talk French half the time. So, just checking, this basically takes us all the way up to Alpha. So that's fine. I'm going to leave the weather radar on. We're not going to turn on the terrain radar. So let's just do a quick departure briefing. So it's going to be a Toga takeoff, flaps 1 departure, noise abatement 1 departure. So thrust reduction is at 1170, and so we'll maintain SRS. So V2 plus 10 to 20 knots. Acceleration altitude is not to 3,100 feet, and we just want to get up and away. Be aware of wind shear on departure as well. Engine mode selector to ignition. Engine out procedure. we would look to return here for an auto land, which we can do on runway 23. We are below the maximum landing weight. Would have to check the winds though. So winds could be an issue. There are some limitations to that.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, contact Bordeaux Center on 125.1. Have a good flight.
1251 for Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Thanks for the service tonight. Bye bye. So our departure also matches what we've got on the FMGC, and our initial stop altitude is 7,000 set. So, no rush to contact them as we've got an aircraft in front of us. Let's run our before takeoff checklist. So flight controls are checked, departure briefing is confirmed, flaps 1 config, FMA and takeoff data 135 blue, 142 magenta, climb nav blue, 7000 blue, 1 FD2 and a toga takeoff. Transponder is set, ECAM memo, takeoff, no blue, electronic flight bag is stowed.
The Manac, continue climb, fly level 340 or 360, which one you want? The choice is what, 34 or 360?
FM.
Or if possible, 340. And could you repeat direct to, please?
Running 901, direct Manac, climb, fly level 340.
Another reason we loaded extra fuels for ATC delays.
And clean flight level 340, merci beaucoup.
Running 901. Easy 854, line up and wait, runway 23.
That's tubing that's taken off in front of us then.
190 Yankee Alpha, contact ground on 121.9. Good evening, au revoir.
121.9, thanks for the service, Alpine 190 Yankee Alpha.
Bordeaux Centre, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike with you, holding short runway 23 at Bordeaux.
Allez, code 12, poussage mise en route approuvé, QNH 1002.
I hope that wasn't for me because I can't speak French.
Easy 854, wind 280 degrees 8 knots, runway 23, clear for takeoff. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, bord de contrôle, bonsoir, maintain beam point Alpha, runway 23.
Maintain holding point Alpha for runway 23, 34 Alpha Mike. So we want to make sure we stop behind these lines here. I'm guessing low vis procedures may be in place. Having said that, there wasn't anything with runway visual range in the METAR, so they may not be. Still reporting. Well, let's have a look. So we've got a tempo 4,000 meters. 4,000 meters. That's still Cat 1 stuff. QNH is still current. So waiting for our company in front of us.
Behind AD departure, line up and wait for runway 23 behind.
Behind departing A320, runway 23, line up and wait behind Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Okay, so just check those brake fans. They're fine. So, strobe lights, takeoff lights, runway lights, etc. Let's get everyone sat down. Packs off. 1 and 2. And of course, transponder and TCAS, TARA, tilt above. Line up and wait. So before takeoff checklist, below the line. Cabin is secured for takeoff. Engine mode select to ignition. TCAS, TARA, tilt above, and packs are off. Anti-ice is on.
Easy 854, you're identified. Proceed direct to Cognac, Charlie November Alpha, climb fly level 340.
We can probably expect something similar. Always think it's great taking off when it's raining as a passenger and you watch the rain just blast off the windscreens. So we're going to probably wait here for another minute or so for separation. So the controller will give us a wind check.
And for traffic on Bordeaux, new QNH 1002 on Bordeaux, new QNH 1002.
QNH 1002 is now current. And we're just waiting for that clearance now.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, wind 260 degrees 7 knots, runway 23, clear for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 23, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Okay, those winds sound quite good. Let's go. So, takeoff, start the chrono, set 50% N1, and set takeoff thrust. Man Toga, SRS, auto thrust blue.
Airways 5556, you're leaving my airspace, no further ATC available, Unicom 122.8, have a good flight to London, au revoir.
A little bit of rudder being needed to keep us on the centre line. V1 and rotate.
Unicom 122.8, have a good flight, au revoir.
Nav.
One Bravo, you're leaving my airspace, no further ATC available, Unicom 122.8, have a good flight to London, au revoir.
Following those flight directors. And set climb thrust.
35 Foxtrot Bordeaux control, bonsoir, identify, proceed direct to Narak. Direct to Narak.
Thrust climb.
6 Alpha arrival to the LS1 for right.
And autopilot 1 engaged. Pax 1 and 2.
Alpha Mike, you are identified. Continue right on, proceed direct to Charlie November Alpha, climb flight level 380.
Proceed direct Charlie November Alpha, climb flight level 380 for Alpine 34 Alpha Mike.
Bordeaux Center, yes, Skyways 5556 over to 122.8. Bonsoir.
Set flight level 380. Standard pressure. And 380, there we go. 380, 380 blue. Pass S speed. Flaps 0. And ground spoilers disarmed.
901 confirmé en français ou en anglais, juste pour savoir pour la suite, mais vous pouvez quitter le cockpit et rappeler de retour.
Yeah, Anthony, thankfully we are turning away from that now.
Vous préférez pour le français ou l'anglais.
Not much to see from a passenger perspective, is there, on this departure?
Bon, alors, on va le faire en français. Merci.
Doesn't look to be too turbulent. So I think we can maintain managed speed for the time being rather than the turbulence penetration speed.
To 122.8, speed 2572. Merci, bonsoir. Bonsoir. Speed 1881, you're having my airspace, no further ATC available, Unicom 122.8, have a good flight to London, au revoir.
Over to Unicom 122.8, thanks for the service, goodbye.
So we're holding 250 knots at the minute. If it becomes too turbulent, we'll set 260 knots once passing 10,000 feet.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend you keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. Toilets are located at each end.
A, you can actually turn the weather radar down. So if we did that, you can see it's a little clearer now. So we're now passing 10,000 feet. Let's get the lights off. Anti-ice staying on for the time being, of course. So that's 10,000 feet past. Fly over 380 and optimum 390. The max is 390 as well, so that's okay. Clear the RadNav page. And we're going to break out of those clouds soon, which in Microsoft Flight Simulator always looks epic. Really good. Turbulence is good at the moment. So given the thunderstorms that are around the area at the moment, I've still left the cabin crew in their seats. And as you can see, we're between cloud layers at the minute. Obviously the one below us, the one above us. The aircraft is caked in ice. That's not truly realistic. But what a great view. That looks like a nasty column of air, doesn't it? That we're about to fly into. See what happens when we bust through that. But so far, so good. Not as turbulent as I was planning.
Have a good flight to London, over. Monitor Uniform Easyjet 10 thank you very much, good night. Good night, Ryanair 50 November Mike, you're leaving airspace, no further ATC available, Uniform 122.8,
so,
to London, over.
Murillo, yeah, anti-ice is on. Makes no difference in Flight Sim 2020, it's overdone. Oh, lightning.
Unicom 122.8, have a good flight to London, over.
Up to Unicom on 122.8, thanks for the ATC tonight, pick up 180.
With pleasure.
Is that Nick? Has Nick changed his call sign?
Cédar, correction, Charlie Echo Delta 12, réglé transpondeur 4037, 4037. Transpondeur 4037, Charlie Echo Delta 12. Charlie Echo Delta 12, identifié radar.
So, past flight level 180. And just want to get through this upper cloud layer. Then we'll release the cabin crew. We don't want them faffing around with hot drinks and things when there's a potential to throw it over themselves, or worse, a customer. Thankfully the weather in Stansted is said to be much better than this. Nick, I thought you had. I thought that's Nick's voice, but that's not his call sign. Speedbird 1880. Sorry, we're not American, are we? Speedbird 1880. So if you did ask a question whilst we were on the ground setting up and getting out of there, then and I ignored it, then please do feel free to ask again.
France 134, Bordeaux contrôle, bonsoir, de Alpha, alignez-vous piste 23, le vent 30, correction, le vent 260 degrés 7, nœuds, autorisé décollage. Autorisé décollage, piste 23, Air France 634.
So we're just coming on flight level 220. and direct the Charlie November Alpha waypoint. Is that called Cognac? Not the Cognac waypoint. Oh yeah, Cognac. Obi-Wan, yeah, it was a toga takeoff given the potential for wind and wind shear. Good evening, J-Hard. Is top of descent coming soon? As soon as it is correct. They will not release it before. It's been worked on.
Waiting 901, Bordeaux control.
Tommy, that's nice to hear. You're about an hour from Bordeaux and the weather's exactly the same as this with lightning all around. I do think that the weather engine here in Microsoft Flight Simulator is getting better and better.
Speedbird 564, runway descent fly level 5, correction, descent fly level 250.
Starting to get a little lighter now, isn't it? I wonder if that cloud break isn't too far away. You can just see
Flight level 250,
a little break there, so looking at the weather radar as well, even though that's not entirely accurate, that's more below us I think. I'm happy now to release cabin crew. Just check that temperature. Yeah, we still need the anti-ice on at the moment. So Obi-Wan, how did I know to use toga? Well, because of the winds that were gusting reported on the METAR, they were seriously gusting. They were gusting up to 50 knots, according to the METAR, which, if that was the case, we probably wouldn't have took off in real life and aircraft would have been held for a while till they subsided. But you've got thunderstorms in the area as well, so there's the potential for wind shear, which you don't want that. If you want to see wind shear on takeoff, there is a fantastic video doing the rounds on YouTube of, I think it's a 747, it might even be an A380 that received wind shear on takeoff and how that aircraft survived. God praise the pilot, it was unbelievable.
For traffic Bordeaux, control is closing shortly. We'll advise you when closing.
Oh, so Bordeaux ATC is closing in a minute, but that's okay, it's done a grand job so far. Helped add to the reality.
Easy 854, you're leaving my airspace, no further ATC available, Unicom 122.8, have a good flight to London, au revoir. La France 134, vous êtes identifié radar, procédé direct sauvette, montée niveau 350. Correction, non, procédé direct sauvette et 350 pour la...
So Charlie, there's the potential for wind shear when we've got things like those strong gusts of wind and combined with thunderstorms as well. Thunderstorms can give wind shear, so that's one of the things that flags up there. And as Digital has just said as well, if the runway is really contaminated, so like ice, snow, obviously we didn't have those tonight, but the runway was very, very wet. So there's a potential there as well. So garden data, wind shear is basically when the winds change direction rapidly. So 1 minute they could be coming from the front, the next they could be coming from behind or vice versa. Very dangerous for aircraft.
Charlie Echo Delta 12, vous pouvez passer sur Unicom 122 décimales 8, je vous souhaite un bon vol vers Palma, au revoir.
Je passe sur Unicom 122.8, merci, au revoir, Charlie Echo Delta 12.
Let's turn the brightness of these displays up a bit, shall we? Now we're coming out of
de retour dans le cockpit.
Out of the lower depths.
Reçu pour séparation, prenez le cap 330. 330 pour séparation, voying 901.
So there was the potential of using the terminal's penetration speed tonight to get up and out of the way as quick as possible.
Alpha Mike, you're leaving my space, no further ATC available, Unicom 122.8, have a good flight to London, au revoir.
Many thanks for the service tonight. Over to Unicom Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, bye bye.
Speedbird 564.
Well, that was the wrong frequency. Let's try again. 122.8. Yeah, so we did lose extra fuel so we could just climb faster out of all this rubbish. But as it turned out, there wasn't that much turbulence. I think we were actually escaping the storm. The storm was probably to the south of us, and we were heading northbound, so we got out of the way quite nicely. Yep, are we passing the Netherlands on the way? Absolutely not. That would be a detour. So, looks like we're near the top of the clouds. Passengers have been in the seat long enough. We're coming on 30,000 feet. Let's release the passengers, shall we? Anti-ice can also come off as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has now turned off the seatbelt sign and you are now free to move around the cabin. We do recommend, however, when in your seat, that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. The toilets are now available. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
And here we go. Looks like we're breaking through the tops of those clouds. I think that ice is going to remain on the engine cowling for the duration of the flight now, isn't it? Nothing we can do about that. Little quiz then whilst we're in the climb. We've already mentioned wind shear being dangerous for aircraft. What other type of weather phenomenon is very, very severe for an aircraft and has been known to bring aircraft down, sadly? Answers in the chat. Good evening, Chris Hogg. Hope you're well. Glad Rome was nice for you yesterday. So Dark says downdraft. Ben says downdraft. Nick says cyclone. Mike, volcano dust. Fair play, Mike. That wasn't the answer I was going for, but fair play. And I'm just going to keep these coming in. What we got? Chumi, tornado. Yeah, well, you wouldn't want to fly into one of those, Chumi. Downdraft. Yep, meteorites. Always thinking outside the box. Yeah, meteorites. What about UFOs? The answer I was looking for, which I believe those of you talking about downdrafts were probably referring to as well, is the microburst. Microbursts are very horrible, and it brought us, I think it was a 737 down in America years ago. Since then, airports have installed technology near the thresholds of runways to identify microbursts. They basically suck you in, push you down to the ground, and then kick you out with the wind behind you, so you lose your lift, and you don't have much room to recover then. Flight level 340. Yep, yeah, don't forget the Chinese space station. That's up there with the meteorites.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. All details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated. And if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Dark, was that episode on air crash investigation last night? Ah, well, there you are. Ben, you believe Microburst also brought down a KLM aircraft at Schiphol? There's been a couple at Schiphol. One was a KLM Cityflyer. Is that a Saab 340, something like that? Sadly, that was pilot error. The pilot flying after erroneous warning closed down power to engine number 2 and left it there. They then decided to go around as they were making what they thought was their emergency landing back at Schiphol. Decided to go around, pushed power up, and the asymmetrical thrust then just sent the aircraft spiralling to the right. And yeah, sadly they crashed. Right, we can't be too far away from flight level 380. Then we'll have a look at how we're going to plan our arrival into London Stansted this evening. So we'll do a fuel check when we get to Usoda in about 13 miles time. And I don't know if we've got more air traffic control to come. Let's just have a quick look. Can't see any air traffic control over the UK just yet. London North's online. That's not going to be controlling us though. Marseille is online. Oh, Paris Control's online. I think we may end up having to contact them. Sure, we'll fly through their airspace. Quick look at the VFR map should confirm that. Or we might just be a bit too much to the left. I'm not quite sure where their border is, but they'll give us a contact me if we need to. Alt Cruise, there we go. Yeah, I missed the Mac Alt Start, but there we are. Mac Alt Start and Alt Cruise, flight level 380, and that's it. Cruising altitude reached. We'll do a fuel check then. So at Usoda, we've got a fuel of 6320, and we took 3,000 tons extra. What was our contingency? Let's have a look. Did I say 3,000 tons? We did not. We took 3 tons extra. 3,000 kilogram extra. And our contingency was just shy of 200. So what would that be? Let's just take a quick check. So we loaded the flight with 8 tons of fuel, minus 3,200, and at Usoda we'd need a minimum of just under 3.2 tons, and we had, what did we have? 6.2. That's pretty close. 3 tons extra. So 3,200, 6,200. With the contingency in there and the 3 ton that we took extra, that's spot on. Can I show you the Navigraph charts? If you mean on the flypad, no, I can't, because this isn't the version that's got the charts on the flypad. That's still got some got a little bit of work to go before that will be released. We can't navigate around the charts at the moment. We appear to have got a company message. Let's have a quick look at that. From 1969, saying good flight. Fortunately, I've not got a call sign, so I can't even give you a call back, but thank you very much for the message. So we're about 23 minutes into the flight as well by the time we got to Usoda, and that was 19 minutes, so maybe a couple of minutes behind schedule, but we've got a tailwind as well pulling us along, so I'm sure we'll catch that time up. Just cycle through those SD pages, make sure there's nothing obviously wrong. There shouldn't be, of course. We don't have any failures set in the simulator. 24 degrees, doors are all armed, brake temperatures, all the flight computers working, system status is normal.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you'll be delighted to hear that we're now at our cruising altitude, and we hope to give you nice views throughout the flight as we have good weather ahead and should be experiencing any turbulence. Of course, this means that you will not spill any of your drinks that you may have from the cabin crew as they begin to start making their way around the aircraft. Could you please ensure that the aisles are kept clear so the cabin crew can offer you their cabin service, which will begin shortly. A reminder that Easyjetsimpilot channel members are able to access free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the flight.
Well, if we get a little bit of clearer skies, we should have a nice view coming into coming over the channel and into the UK. If we just have a look, we've got weather radar on here as well, don't we now? So looks like we're basically going to be skirting this weather front. So we're basically coming up around here over Jersey, and then up through, well, this looks like some nasty weather to be descending through a little bit later on, so we'll keep an eye on that, and then obviously up to Stansted. Michael, de-ice doesn't work, my friend. It's just a bug in the simulator. SAT is below -40, so there's it's too cold for any moisture. Plus, which we've no visible moisture now in the air. We're not flying through any clouds of any sort. Of course, when we descend, it will most certainly have to go back on. Kevin, good evening. You love going on virtual holidays with us. Have we taken you to anywhere exotic? Okay, so with regards to this landing then, let's have a look at how we're going to be approaching this. So here's the waypoint that I'm going to be looking at straight away. So at TEL2 we need to be at flight level 190, and that's mandatory, as you can see, designated by the boxes. So as I know I want to be at flight level 190, then I'm going to come down here and put that straight into my bearing distance 2. So TELTU. Pop that in there, and you can see we're 181 miles away at the moment. Oh, just lost my frame rates. There we go. Okay, is London South ATC online? Excellent. That means we should probably get ATC vectoring us in all the way through. So let's see. What are you at? We're at 38,000 feet, and as I say, we want to be at flight level 190 by then. So we've got 19,000 feet to lose. So with that tailwind as well, we've got to take that into account. So no winds. If we want to do 19,000 feet, then I would probably be looking at around 55 miles away to start that descent. But with that tailwind, I'm probably going to look to start descent a little bit sooner. maybe about 65, 65 to 70 miles away. Start to get down to Tel 2. From Tel 2 then, we're then basically following the star. Now what I would expect to happen if air traffic control is online all the way for our arrival, then from Tel 2 we've then got to get obviously down here Bookham's Park VOR and the Barkway VOR, and then what would most likely happen if we're not following this full procedure, which is a bit strange to do that, we've then got to fly left over here via Buster, an overfly waypoint. Then from here they would then take us back around to come in and land on runway 23. Air traffic control, however, if they're online, may just take us straight from pick us off at the Barkway VOR and then bring us straight in around there, rather than make us do this westerly loop to come back in and around. And as you can see, there's the Barkway VOR, which they could then just bring us in and round to give us vectors to final. So let's start getting some information. It's going to be a runway 23 arrival. Let's just double check the winds there. So winds are 150. So yeah, that's going to be a runway. Well, I expect that's going to be a runway 23 arrival. I'm just going to have a look to see if any ATIS is online for Stansted. Oh, it is. Oh, let's have a look. Right, so ATIS is online. Stansted Information Hotel. Runway in use is runway 22. Sorry, I'm calling it runway 23. That's rubbish. It is. It's runway 22. So we know we're planning for runway 22. And I'm expecting that Tel 21 Lima arrival. And they're probably going to give us vectors if they're still online by the time we get there. QNH there at the moment is 996. The transition altitude is 6,000 feet, and we can get this from the charts as well if you're just wondering where I'm getting this from. So transition altitude is 6,000 feet. Platform altitude for the ILS approach is 2,500 feet. Minimum safe altitude, as we're coming in from here, will be 2,100 feet. And just check, I think visibility is absolutely fine. Yeah, no clouds detected either. But visibility is fine, so it's going to be a Cat 1 approach, which the decision altitude of 548. The ILS frequency, we need to make sure that populates into the RadNav page, as it doesn't always do that automatically. 110.5, and it is an ILS DME, so we've got DME equipment as well. Runway elevation is 348. And missed approach is a right-hand turn to the Barkway VOR and 3,000 feet. So, what am I going to put in the McDo to set that all up? Let's have a look. So, on the RadNav page, we know if we do the missed approach, we're going to need the Barkway VOR in there. So, Bravo Kilo Yankee. Let's get that in. Check the frequency 11625. That's the one we want. Well, we could have made an educated guess, couldn't we? We don't want the one 2,500 miles away. Yeah, you can only get the ATIS if there's actually any controls on VATSIM online giving that to you, if your McDo's set to get it from VATSIM. So yeah, nice tailwind. Let's see what's our ETA then, given the track mileage that we've got. If we follow everything, so we should be on the ground in about half an hour. Looking at that, we shall see. we shall see. RadNav page, has that already put that frequency in? 110.5? Yes, it has. Nice. So RadNav page is all set up and done. I'll be waiting for air traffic control to ping us in a few moments. We can actually see on the operational flight plan which controlled airspace we'll be flying through. So we were in Bordeaux. The boundary for London is at Lugis, which, if we see how far away we are from Lugis, we can probably preempt their call. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Oh, there we go. We can just see that we're about 75 miles away from Lugis, so we can give them a call as well. That way, the earlier we call them, they can confirm which star they want us to use, and if we do need to change it, we can then go in and reprogram. But if London South is online, that's 129425, so let's key that in. There we go, 129425. And then the other thing I want to plan and be aware of is from Tel2 to Laurel, if they want to get us down to flight level 70, I will aim for flight level 70 if this is the star, because obviously that's a mandatory altitude. But if they want to pick us off at Barkway and bring us around, they may start to descend us a little earlier. So we, with a maximum speed of 220 knots as well, so we've got these speed restrictions in place. So how long have we got? We've got about 75 miles. 75 miles between flight level 190 at Tel2 to Barkway. So that's plenty of time to lose what? 10, 11, 12, 13,000 feet. 12,000 feet. Loads of time. Just need to keep those speed restrictions in mind as well.
We'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we could be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
So Obi-Wan, is there a way to check which controls are online on a phone or iPad? I think there are some apps available. I've yet to find one which is really nice and really clear though. So I tend just to use, I did use VATSIM, but that's a desktop program, which obviously isn't what you're asking about. Captain B, question, the ice looks stupid. What should it look like? In reality, it probably shouldn't be there at all. Tom B, would the speed restrictions be in the flight computer in real life? Yes, it would be. So if you're in managed speed, which we are at the moment, and VNAV worked, we'd descend in managed mode. The aircraft would then work out the rate of descent to make sure we hit the correct constraints at the right time, and also the speed constraints as well as the altitude constraints. Should probably have that at 1013 as well, standard pressure. I think the problem with the icing effect is it looks fantastic if you're a GA airliner or even prop airliners. They tend to suffer with them more than your big commercial airliners. Not sure how well the icing affects the flight dynamics in the smaller GA airliners. It's not something I've tried. So when we get to about 20 miles from Lugis, then we'll contact London Control, tell them that we're inbound. And as I say, I want to really start that descent to make sure we're obviously at flight level 190 at Tel2. But that wind is going to be pushing us forward, so we want to have a decent rate of descent to get down in time. We've got plenty of time to slow the aircraft down once we've passed Tel2. There are no speed restrictions for 60 miles after Tel2, so we don't need to worry about slowing the aircraft down too quickly. Oh, that's self-loading cargo passengers screaming because we made a bank over 10 degrees. I think there is an option to turn the screams off, but just for fun, why not leave them on? A, is full speed brake always possible in the real aircraft, or does it only extend halfway sometimes due to restrictions even though you pull it back all the way? There are restrictions involved. For example, if you're full flaps, you can't deploy speed brakes. So there are certain restrictions and configurations of flight in which the full speed brakes deflections are not allowed. Airbus protections. Ben, VATSIM doesn't seem to work for you anymore. No, it didn't work for me either. You basically uninstall it, re-download the new version, and it works fine again now. So once we start heading direct Lugis, we'll give London a call. 129425. We can actually tune to that frequency now.
Easyjet54, I'm afraid I don't know the runway in use in Stansted. I'm not controlling it top down this evening, so I believe there is a ground controller on Aegis online.
Yeah, sorry about that. The HSS
Chew me if you're watching the stream. ATIS is online. It's runway 22 in use.
Speedbird 481 Bravo, 25 miles descent to altitude 4,000 feet.
And 4,000 feet, Speedbird 481 Bravo.
London Control, good evening. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, flight level 380 inbound Lugis.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, London Control, good evening. It's Tel2 1 Lima arrival to Stansted. Report ready for descent.
Tel2 1 Lima arrival for Stansted, and we're ready to start descent now, please. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, roger, descend, flight level 260.
260, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Okay, let's set flight level 260.
Lufthansa 8 Juliet, yep. Parking,
Thrust idle, open descent, 260 blue.
DQ goodbye, brake. Speedbird 481 Bravo, turn left heading 360 degrees.
Left hand 360 degrees, Speedbird 481 Bravo.
Ryanair 50 November Mike, on to Unicom now 122.8, good evening. EC710, monitor Unicom 122.8, good evening.
Monitor Unicom Easyjet 10, good evening.
Thank you.
So I'm now just monitoring the rate of descent to get us down to flight level 190 via TEL2. Captain B, yeah, I think
Speedbird 481 Bravo descends to altitude
there's
3.
a lot of VATSIM controllers, particularly in the UK, that are real live ATC, so they're very, very good, and we should probably be privileged that we get such high quality ATC here in the UK. So look at that weather radar. Let's get the anti-ice on as we start to head down. So that weather and landing information has all been received. FMGC's set.
Bravo, turn left heading
Landing
30
elevation is
degrees,
briefed
west on the low
348
slides, runway 27 right, descend on the glide path.
and auto brake not required. We'll keep the weather radar on rather than the terrain radar, looking at what we're going to be flying into. There's some purple there, I don't like the look of that.
Easy 53 Papa Mike, turn left heading 085. Correction, turn right heading 085.
Right, 085, easy 53 Papa Mike.
So 996 hectopascals, as it's below 1000.
Good evening, thanks. Speedbird 1880, the next sector is offline. Monitor Unicom now 122.8, good evening.
122.8, Speedbird 1880, temperature bye-bye.
Easy 854, descend flight level 160.
Descend flight level 160,
Easy 53 Papa Mike, descend flight level 90.
Flight level 90, 53 Papa Mike.
So I know there's aircraft ahead of me going to Stansted. I'm just listening to the frequency that he handed them off to.
Speedbird 481 Bravo, runway 27 right, surface wind 240 degrees at 5 knots, clear to land.
27 right, Speedbird 481 Bravo.
Super 121 with you, flight level 120, descending.
So a little bit above the profile at the moment. Let's get the aircraft down a little more, shall we?
Control, good evening. Information Quebec is current descent flight level 80.
Information Quebec and descent 80, Super 121.
That wind is also increased as well as we've descended, which is another reason why we're slightly above the profile.
Route direct Holly and B90 Holly, easy 53 Papa Mike.
So again, don't worry too much about the speed.
Descend flight level 200.
Flight level 200, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Set flight level 200, 200 blue.
Speedbird 121, turn left heading 220 degrees. You have 45 miles for runway 27 right.
Left heading 220 and confirm that was 27 right.
And into the clouds. I don't think we've seen the ground, have we, since we took off?
Quebec is current.
Roger, left heading 220 and 27 right for arrival. Information Quebec, Silver 121.
Control running what I probably would be in front of 040.
Flying 18 Bravo, London Control, good evening. Fly heading 290 degrees, climb flight level 150.
So 7,000 feet to lose. And 30 miles away, so we are above the profile. We've got the speed brakes out. So with the weather that we've got on that radar,
3 Papa Mike, contact Gatwick Director
let's get the seatbelt signs on.
825, good evening.
Director 126.825, thanks for the ATC, bye-bye.
Let's run the approach checklist.
Swelling 18 Bravo, resume navigation direct Kenneth. Navigation direct Kenneth, Speedbird 121, descend to altitude 4,000 feet, Heathrow QNH 996 hectopascals.
4,000 feet and QNH 996, Super 1.
Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. We've actually put those seatbelt signs on quite early. So we'll run the approach checklist in a moment.
Center is 774, flight level 20.
E774, London Control, hello, descend, flight level 150.
So
It's a,
we
Canal
missed that
1
constraint
Golf
just
arrival
by a
Gatwick.
couple of thousand feet. We're still on our way down. Speed and alt nav.
Could you repeat that, please?
He's already actually given us flight level 200, so that's fine if air traffic control sorting it.
E774, descend, flight level 150. It's a Canal 1 Golf arrival to Gatwick.
Descending flight level 1.
We can now start to slow the aircraft down a little bit.
1 Golf arrival
So
for
alt.
Easyjet
Speedbird 121, turn right heading
So now let's run that approach
503.
checklist. Minimums are set both sides. Engine
Runway
mode
27 on the
select
glide path.
is... Oh, it was actually selected ignition. That could come back to norm.
And when established 27 right, descend on the glide path, Super 121.
Electronic flight bag is stowed.
8854, Mama Unicom 122.8.
And we've briefed, of course, the arrival. So we're with ATC vectors. Oh, hang on.
Descend flight level 160.
160 Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Set flight level 160. Thrust idle open descent 160 blue.
Speedbird 481 Bravo, roger. Have stand 303 left here planned for you. Does that suit, or do you want something a bit closer?
That line of turbulence there, look, on the weather radar. That is a perfect line.
Terminal 5, please, that's ideal. 481 Bravo, roger. Taxi for Alpha, stand at your choice, Terminal 5. Alpha 7 choice, 481 Bravo, thanks for service, bye. Swelling 18 Bravo, the next sector is offline, monitor Unicom 122.
So just monitoring this descent. Looks like we're about 70, probably about 70 track miles away. That's fine. As we're just coming up to flight level 180, so happy with the profile on descent just there.
3,000 feet further with the glide path.
3,000 feet, Super 121.
A320X, good evening.
Logan 39 Echo Fox.
That was my fault. I should have turned it off sooner, but on our departure from Bordeaux we had thunderstorms, heavy rain, wind, so there's potential for just in case we had some sort of flame out for whatever reason and we need to restart the engine. We'll leave the engine selector mode into ignition. Ah, bonsoir. The experimental version and the dev version are exactly the same at the moment, so just use the dev version.
Echo Foxtrot, correct. Start approved. The city QNH is 996 hectopascals. Report ready to taxi. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, monitor Unicom now 122.8. Good evening.
122.8. Thanks for the service. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Bye bye. Okay, so 122.8. We're now on a zone. So we can continue our descent down and we're going to set flight level 70. Flight level 70, thrust idle, open descent 070 blue. And we've got Brooklands Park coming up about 30 miles away. We want to be 250 knots by that point. We'll make a call on Unicom at the Brooklands Park VOR. Just to confirm as well the routing that we're taking. So we're coming up, there's the Brooklands Park VOR, and then we will vector ourselves off to the right downwind base leg and then to come in on runway 22.
Ladies and gentlemen, take full advantage of your tax-free allowances today and make some amazing savings with our boutique range. In your in-flight brochure, you'll find details of our award-winning selection of gifts, most with massive discounts, some of which are exclusive to you as an Easyjet customer. Make the most of your opportunity to shop and save from the comfort of your seat. If you'd like to see any products, have any questions, or would like to make great savings, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
And look at that. That is the first time I've seen the ground in this flight. Well, that's dark with those clouds behind me, isn't it? Very quick look outside. Whoa. Well, if that's the weather over the Channel in France, then it can stay there. Wow. That's amazing. Right, enough sightseeing. Let's get back in, shall we? So, 40 miles from the threshold runway 22. And we're 23 miles from Buchan Park. Our profile looks pretty good at the moment. Jess, good evening, sir. Hope you're well. Jess, so far, all you've missed is rubbish weather in France.
If you could now assist the cabin crew by tidying up your tray table and handing them any litter as they come around, that would be most appreciated. For safety reasons, we ask now that you please turn off all electronic devices or switch them to airplane mode until after we have landed. Please note that the aircraft toilets are now out of use. If you wish to become a Easyjetsimpilot channel member, please contact a member of your cab crew who will be happy to assist you. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed your flight.
Well, I'm glad I'm not flying to France. We've had terrible weather since we departed. Blue skies over London. Right, so that's 10,000 feet. Seatbelt signs are already on. Let's get the lights on. We've done the approach checklist. $30 miles away, 10,000 feet. And with no air traffic control, we are going to vector ourselves in from the Barkway VOR, which is just here, and we'll come in and around for landing on runway 22. So at Barkway as well, we want to be 220 knots. Just for those of you joining, here's the start for Stansted. So from Barkway, we'll vector ourselves in and around. We're about to pass Brooklands Park VOR in 8 miles, so we're going to make a call on Unicom. Just check we're on Unicom, 122.8, yep.
It's traffic, runway vacated. 22, speed is 1881.
Stansted traffic, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, 6 miles from the Brooklyn Park VOR on the Tel 21 Lima arrival for arrival runway 22. So we're 20 miles away. Of course that's not track miles, that's direct miles, but that's okay. We want to start slowing down in a moment anyway. Ooh. Bit of height gain just there. So 15 miles, let's set our speed now, start rolling that back. 220 knots, we can activate the approach phase pretty soon. And let's start descending. We can go down to, what's the platform, 2,500 feet. Let's start descending to 4,000 feet. So set 4,000 feet. Local pressure is 996 hectopascals. Thrust idle open descent 4,000 blue. Just going to check that is still current. 996, yep. Oh, good evening, HD. Have you been watching golf? Question arises, when your speed brakes are out, does the lower ECAM not change? I know you've got the warning here on the upper ECAM. I'm looking down here once we've landed.
Established on the localizer, 8 miles there, runway 22.
I just didn't think I'd killed enough fairies this evening.
Traffic Ryanair 50 November Mike, runway 22 vacated.
So we're well below profile, but that's okay.
Traffic Easy 710 from the airport, slowing down 160 knots to separation.
That's quite a handy tip, that, Jess. Might try that. The problem with that, of course, is here in the sim, unless I've got VR to look around things, I need that. I need that hand. Okay, that speed alt starts 4,000 feet, and we can look now to start and vector ourselves off towards this this arrival. Ooh, that was a bit of turbulence, wasn't it? Whoa, that was a lot of turbulence. Even I nearly screamed, let alone the self-loading cargo passengers behind me, who I'm sure you heard yelling away. Okay, let's activate the approach phase. And, oh, I've lost the frame rates there a little bit. We've activated the approach phase, and we know it's going to do something daft, but actually this today has worked in our favour, because this is where I was going to vector ourselves into, so that's worked quite nicely. Yeah, Jess, not quite sure why alt cruise at 4,000 feet was showing. Oh, good. ATC's just come online in time to annoy me. 12262. Sorry, 12062. However,
Essex approach, speed of 1880 with you at 3000.
Essex approach, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, 4,000 feet.
Speedbird 1880, Essex radar, hello to you, turn right heading 130 degrees, base leg, speed 180 knots. Turn right heading 130 and speed down to 180, speedbird 1880.
Right, if you're slowing him down, we're going to do something similar. Flaps 1.
And we'll maintain 3000, speedbird 1880. Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, Essex radar, hello, information, Golf, maintain altitude 4,000 feet, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, maintained in 4,000 feet. Fair enough. Let's get those flaps back up. I thought it would want to, as I heard him slowing Nick down, I thought it was going to slow us down as well.
What's the course running again, please? 8854, Essex radar, hello, thank you, continue approach. Easy 1880, turn right heading 1905, clear island approach on A22.
Runway 22.
Speedbird 1880, turn right heading 1905, cleared ILS, runway 22. Turn right heading 195, cleared ILS 22, speedbird 1880. Easy 710, surface wind 170 degrees, 5 knots, runway 22, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 22, easy 710.
Easy 854, speed 165 knots until 4 miles.
So just concentrating now, listening for air traffic control. Expecting him to get us to slow down in a second.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, turn left heading 045.
Left 045, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Just extending our downwind leg there, I think, for a bit of separation. There you can see our comrades on the approach.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, speed 180 knots.
Ladies and
180 knots,
we
34
will
Alpha
shortly be
Mike.
landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your
So
tray
now we'll
table
go
must be
flaps
stowed,
1, speed check,
armrests
flaps
down,
1.
and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help me.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, looks like that traffic in front of you is just disconnected, so you can turn right heading 130 degrees, base leg, and descend to altitude 2,000 feet.
130 and altitude 2,000 feet for Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. So set 2,000 feet.
Easy 804, A5, cleared ILS on A22.
2,000 blue, open descent. And flaps 2. Speed 180 knots.
Easy 34 Alpha Mike, turn right heading 190 degrees, cleared ILS approach on A22.
Right heading 190 and cleared ILS approach runway 22, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. So 13 miles out.
Easy 710, contact ground 121.720,
Lock blue.
bye.
Contact ground 121, national 720, easy 710.
Easy 854, surface wind calm, runway 22, clear to land.
We just got the ground frequency in there as well. Speed alt star.
Ultra runway 22. Zap 99 Tango 6 radar, hello to after landing, easy A320 Neo 5 Romeo 1, line up and wait on A22. One of way behind the landing, Easyjet Airbus A320, SAP 99
May just check to see if he wants us to hold at 180 knots. And Alpine 34 Alpha Mike still wanting us to hold 180 knots.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, when established, speed 165 knots until 4 miles.
165 until 4 miles, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Okay, so lock star, radar altimeter is already alive. $10 miles out. There's the traffic in front of us.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for landing.
So start slowing us down now, 165 knots. $9 miles to run. $8 miles. We'll start getting the gear down and configuring in a moment then.
Easyjet 54, contact ground 121.720, bye.
And we've got the
99 Tango,
ground frequency is in there.
clear takeoff.
Glide slope's alive, glide slope blue, cat 1 and autopilot 2 now engaged, autopilot 1 and 2, cat 3 dual. And 6 miles. So go manage speed, landing gear down, get the lights on. And flaps 3, speed check, flaps 3. And flaps full. Landing checklist. Cabin secured for landing. Auto thrust speed.
Surface wind calm, runway 22, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 22, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Auto thrust speed, go around altitude 3000, set, ECAM memo, landing, no blue.
Is that 99 Tango? Squawk ident, report your passing altitude.
Passing 2300, 99 Tango.
Zap 99 Tango, thank you. Climb now, flight level 120.
Sorry, can you read that? Zap 99 Tango.
99 Tango, climb, flight level 120.
1000 feet.
120, Zap 99 Tango.
Autopilot 1 off, and 2, I have control, cat 3 single. It's a nice strong headwind that we've got there, isn't it? Just try and bring that centre line back into view. We were just a little to the left of that. Jess, yeah, I pressed that button. Well, I thought I pressed that button. Clearly it didn't work. Normally, the landing gears and spoilers are next to each other on the setup I've got. I must not quite have pressed that hard enough.
400.
So 500p, approach stable.
300. 100 above. 200.
Radar, this is Ryanair 16 holding short Romeo 1 for runway 22.
Fred, hello to you via Romeo 1. You can line up and wait on A22.
Line up and wait on runway 22 for Rhino 16.
And spoilers deployed, reversers on. Decel.
Good evening.
70 knots.
Number Charlie
Reverses
is
off.
coming Oxford for a basic service to London City.
Station could say the call sign again, please.
Golf Golf Number Charlie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched.
Golf November Charlie 6, I'll call you back shortly.
Electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may...
Applying 3 for Mike, welcome to Stansted, contact ground 121720, bye.
12172, thanks for the service. Alpine 3 for Alpha Mike, good night.
The seat and in the overhead lockers.
Right now, 16, surface wind calm, 182, clear for takeoff.
Balls out. Smoking is not permitted.
Right now,
until you reach
16,
a
copy the wind, clear
designated
for takeoff.
On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your Easyjet journey. For the latest news, promotions, flight and destination information, check out our official Facebook page, Twitter or Easyjet app.
Okay, and we'll contact ground in a second. Stansted ground, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike with you, vacated runway 22.
Alpine 34 Alpha Mike, Stansted ground, good evening. Can you taxi on Lima, Juliet, Alpha, stand 10.
Taxi stand 10 via Lima, Juliet and Alpha, Alpine 34 Alpha Mike. Okay, so
Ryanair 50 November Mike, against 50 London.
make sure we've got the right chart up here.
50 November Mike,
There we go.
take care, bye bye.
So,
Bye-bye.
Lima and then Juliet, which is straight across here. And left then on to Juliet. It's a shame we've not got custom scenery for this this airport. Great thing about this airport is it's got the parallel taxiways. Harrison Ford wouldn't like this airport. So we're taxiing down via Juliet and to Alpha stand 10.
Station calling, say again, call sign.
Which is the back right hand
Easyjet
corner.
for, what stand did you want? Apron Alpha, is that correct? Yeah, Easyjet 54, okay, if you wish, right on to Alpha now then, and you can have stand 10 right at the end.
I'm pretty certain that's the stand he just gave us. Stansted ground, Alpine 35 Alpha Mike, confirm which stand you wanted us at. I think we were at stand 10.
Sorry, Easyjet 54, take stand 11, sorry about that.
That's fine now, we'll just follow the company in front of us. Okay then guys, so before you all disappear, please do me a favour, hit the like button on the way out, and also hit the subscribe button, and more importantly turn on the notifications bell. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. tomorrow we celebrate getting 10,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. And just seen the tips thing there. Tomorrow I'm running a full day event streaming. Hopefully we'll have no sim crashes. And we're basically running a real live pilot schedule pre-COVID, sadly. We've got 4 sectors to run tomorrow. It is a full day, a day in the life of a real pilot. It's going to be hard. 30-minute turnarounds at each one, and as I say, this is based on a real Easyjet pilot's schedule. Just for clarity, that is not HD or Jess in the chat, but yeah, it's a schedule that a friend of mine used to do on a regular basis. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. It starts at 0800 Zulu time, and I'm hoping to be done. We should be done, I think, by around 1600 Zulu time. It's a long day, but it should be great fun. Just looking, we've actually got parking stand numbers here, look. So this must have been as part of the update, the world update, because it certainly isn't a custom airport, but that's really nice to see. So we'll park up, configure, shut down. And then it's straight to bed for a long flight tomorrow. Lots of prep work to do for that. And we are parked. So let's get the parking brakes on. APU is running. Let's cut the engines, get the ground power sorted. Oh, this is annoying. This will be annoying if this comes up to every turnaround tomorrow. I suspect, of course, it will do. There we go. And our brake temperatures 25215. So again, doing turnarounds tomorrow was something else that we've not done in the sim. Normally, obviously, we do one flight and then shut everything down. Job's done. But we've got turnarounds to do. So there are going to be 4 flights tomorrow. 4 flights, full day, a real world schedule that was pre-COVID, of course, so it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I think a few have decided to fly alongside as well, so good luck to them. Biggest threat we've got tomorrow is, of course, the potential for a crash to desktops. Let's hope we don't have we don't have any of that. But other than that, I look forward to seeing you all all tomorrow. So let's get the external ground power connected. We can turn the seatbelt signs off as well. Could have done that as soon as we turned the engines off. Beacon lights off as well. Ground power is now connected. APU can come off. And we can open those doors. Disembark. Baggage and catering. Do we have any baggage and catering trucks? Oh yeah, look, they've magically appeared now. I think if they're not there and you press the tablet once, they appear. I think if I now go back and press it again, on, off, they should kick into action. There they go, look. Now they're working. So yeah, tomorrow, a day in the life of an Easyjet pilot. A full stream, 4 sectors, and to make it really tough as well, as per the real world, they have a 30-minute turnaround time. How we're going to do that in 30 minutes, I have no idea. Having 2 pilots, of course, in the real world helps with that. But 30 minutes, that's going to be tough. Let's see if I can get back home in time before the dog eats my tea, shall we? Thanks very much everyone for watching tonight's stream. Big thanks to those of you that have subscribed, those of you that have donated and contributed to the stream, and of course, as ever, a big thank you to our Easyjetsimpilot channel members. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for a full day, and let's hope for good weather and no crash to desktops. Thanks for watching everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.